changes in your biological cycle. Biological cycle, generally we talk about the sleeping and the eating patterns. You eat a lot or you stop eating. You sleep a lot or you stop sleeping. These are all the two symptoms. Extremes, it can be any extreme. So this is one thing. And the second thing is there is also a kind of disorders in your intake of any kind of I can say alcohol or nicotine or tea. Sometimes it's chocolates. Unknowingly, you binge eat certain things. Or you feel like eating something spicy. That means your stress levels are high. You have to eat it. Because eating spicy things will make you, especially for the girls, pani puri. Whenever you are stressed out, you feel like eating pani puri because that gives you a kind of endorphin flow in your brain. So you feel calm down. After the endorphin is released in your brain, you feel calm down. That's why when it is increases, when your craving for certain things increases, that means definitely you are being stressed out. So this is how we can identify by the physical symptoms or the psychological symptoms or the behavioral symptoms of eating patterns or nicotine, alcohol, anything.
That's really insightful. Like there are different ways. It need not be just physical symptoms or just it is such a combination. And like Devika here is mentioning in the chat, I didn't know this thing about cravings. It's interesting. That when we try to binge eat, maybe it is sweet sometimes and spices and golgappa. It can be because of the stress. So that is where we need to be aware and keep our focus that okay, there's something which is going in a different way. So let me just get back
So
my attention.
you have to address it. You have to address it immediately.
Yes, exactly. So, Dr. Anita, when we talk about food in terms of what we eat when we tend to stress, so does food originally also play a role in getting ourselves stressed? Like, can food add on to this as well? Is there something that food can contribute towards our stress?
Food cannot contribute to your stress, but when you have stress symptoms, whatever you eat, that will aggravate your physical problems. For example, today I am stressed out. If I take something very spicy, then my gastrointestinal problems will aggravate. So this is the one of the things which we have to be very, very careful.
So, there was a question that came from the audience in terms of, because that is something which we are seeing day to day these days, especially in the pandemic times, that anxiety, irritable behavior, mood swings, anger, these are some of the common issues that, well, they exist through all ages, but this is something that is very commonly seen in teens and the youth today. So, how do you think that anxiety issues can be overcome, and why does this? What exactly is this anxiety, and how can we identify it and move in a right direction to cure? Not exactly. I'm not sure if cure is the right word. Maybe you would know how to say it in a better way. But how can we move in a direction? Because that is a very common thing. I also get messages where and even we ourselves get this anxiety many a times in our day-to-day work. So how can we be able, so let us first address it in a general way, and then maybe we can also move on to the team. Please feel free. Maybe we need a little more time to discuss this question.
So we are talking about anxiety, especially in this pandemic time. We are being anxious. So let us talk about what is meant by anxiety and how it is helping us out in resolving certain issues. So there are two parts of the brain. One brain is makes you anxious. For example, if I say there is a snake, then what you do? You never see the snake, but immediately you try to get up from the chair. You want to run or you want to search for certain things where you can hit the snake. That means your brain is making your body ready to attack. Okay, this is what. If I say, Anchal, the snake is near your legs, so you'll just freeze it out. You'll stop moving because that's near your foot. So this is what happens. So one part of the brain makes you fight or flight, whether you can run away or you can fight with the situations. And for this, your body is getting ready. The blood starts pumping out very fast, and you have this heart beating increased. Your eye pupil will be dilated so that you can see things in a bigger picture. And this heartbeat increases is you can run very fast. So this is how your body is getting prepared to fight or flight. So the second part of the brain is the brain which gets all these things into normality. So once the danger is gone, or once you are in a safe place, all your heartbeat has to be normal, your blood circulation has to be normal, your eyes should become normal. So for this second part of the brain, the parasympathetic nervous system will get activated. When there is a gap between these two things, then you say that you are being anxious. That means there is a bit of lag, maybe 10 seconds or 15 seconds, where you can feel your heartbeat, where you feel that some kind of uneasiness. That is where you can find it out. So generally, if you are having anxiety, the first thing what you have to do is you have to distract from your thoughts. Because as such, we are not having a snake here. We are just thinking about snake and getting into anxiety. So most of the cases which I see, generally they say that they assume things. What if Corona comes to me? What if my tire gets punctured? What if this what if will put them into an anxious mode, and where they would never allow the second part of the brain to work and calm them down. So there will be a continuous anxiety going on. So the first thing what you have to do is you have to identify due to which you are getting into anxiety mode and how much time you need to calm down. Or you can distract from your thoughts so that you will keep calm and quiet. So this is how you can come out of your anxiety. And when you are stressed out, your anxiety will pop up very fast. It's like chutki par mein it will come up, because already you are in your brain and body is fully stimulated, and on the top of it, adding to the tip of the iceberg, one cherry is being added, finish, you are into anxiety mode. This is how this is what happens.
Yes, so I think the main point is to identify what is causing you that stress, and also we shouldn't let our thoughts just go on and ripple from one point to another. Like you say that that's what your mission is also, to think, like make proper use of our thought process and not go on in a negative spiral. So that is something, and that was a really good example to share through that anxiety, and exactly that truly happens with us. So when we are talking about anxiety, how and why do we get this thing even in our students these days? Now, students and children were supposed to be very, calm and innocent people who are very free and without any tension or stress. And you being a parenting expert as well, as per what I can see, is there's a lot of pressure on students these days, and a competition. Of course, pressure to be the best and competition to be the best. And if others get better marks or better results than you, and then I have seen that scenario with some of the kids, so parents really go crazy about that. So is it a child's fault? No, right? So how exactly can we help to reduce this kind of stress, or maybe not even call it stress? Because in children, that's how our childhood was. Of course, we have also faced that stress, but they should not be under this kind of stress and competition. So what are your thoughts on this? I hope I've been able to put my words and thoughts in this. That comes from inside. That just came out of my mind. Yeah.
So generally, when we are talking about children, we say that most of them are being stressed out. Yes. The child from the birth till whatever may be the age, everyone are being stressed out. When it comes to the education part of it, the high expectations from the parents is one part. And the second thing is the child is never given an opportunity to express. So most of the times the teacher will be telling something and you have to follow the instructions and you never have an opportunity. Generally, whatever the teacher says, we have to listen to it. So most of the time the child was very happy until 3 or 4 years. After that, completely you are shut down in the school. You can talk to your friends, but not with the teachers. So that is a kind of stress, right? So at home, the child used to talk with the nana, nani, everyone in and around the mohalla, pura mohalla mein they used to talk. But suddenly you are coming out and you are not supposed to talk in the class and all. That is a kind of stress. And then the second thing is when the child is having inability, the parents are, I can say, they are reluctant to accept it. Okay, my child has this problem, let me solve it or let me support it. These kinds of parents are very, very less. That is the general trait of every parent. If someone says that my child has some problem, particularly if something is going wrong with my child, then definitely I'll deny it. But at one point of time, you have to realize that continuously when there is an issue, try to support the child. Then the stress levels will come down. At least the parent should understand that something is going wrong. And when it comes to the upper classes, maybe after 5th or 6th, there will be lots of dynamic. Personality will be changing in the children. That is the puberty. They cross their puberty. They are entering into the early adolescence. So they have their own hormonal issues. They have their own issues. So that is also a kind of stress. So to reduce all these things from the childhood, I suggest them to start with some hobby. Is very important so that they keep their mind occupied with something which is interesting to them. The second thing is doing some kind of meditation. If you are ritualistic, then you can go for your religion practices. If you are not ritualistic, then you can go for meditation. If not meditation, then go for a walk where you try to mindfully see your step. For example, I'm putting a step 1, 2, I have to touch the next foot, the third foot. So what are we doing here? We are completely focusing on the steps. That means this is a kind of meditation, but we are not telling it as a meditation. To the child, we are telling we have to, first you have to touch the toes, then your heel, then your toes. So the child will be continuously doing that. So this is how you can distract from the stress and make them calm.
Yes, meditation, I think in the way that you talked about, mindfulness is the first step. And when we are observing this step by step and concentrating on that present moment and the steps, that helps a child and in fact all of us. Because we as adults are so bogged down with a lot of things from all sides. And then we say that we get stressed because there is so much in our mind already. So there is a question from Kalyani, Dr. Anita. She says, on the path of finding what is causing the stress, anxiety, nervousness, often we get trapped in a negative spiral of thoughts. Any way we can identify this and bring ourselves out of it and move away from it?
Okay, Kalyani, that is a good question. Actually, I want to add upon, but we suddenly drifted from one topic to the other topic. So the thoughts are like spider webs, you know. So once you get a thought, you start weaving everything in and around it. So for example, today it is raining. What if tomorrow rains? What if the petrol pump is not open? What if I go late? What if my HOD says, see, you are trying to start weaving a web. So we call it as thought web. Once you enter into the web, there is no way you are coming out. So for that, what you have to do is for maybe for 5 minutes or 6 minutes or after 10 minutes, definitely you will realize what is that you are thinking about. If it is something you are thinking about, the same thought which is being extended for few minutes, then you have to say that, Nai Baba, this is bus. We are not talking about anything. We are not thinking about it. So how to distract from it is a very, very important thing. Because if you are not getting distracted, again, you start weaving new web. So let us not get into this. So I'll give you a few tips how to come out of your thought web. The first thing is randomly select one alphabet. For example, D. So I have selected a D. Then I have to say 5 objects with D. It should not be the name of the people. It should not be the name of the animals or anything, places, nothing. So if I say a D, then it is a drum, then you can add it up, right? So this is how you have to distract. So whenever you are thinking about it, so your thoughts will be cut down then and there, then you are getting distracted. Or so you don't have mood to think about any names, so you are very irritable that point of time. So the simplest way is, what are the 5 red colors in my room? So immediately you start searching for it. So your focus has been completely, Anchal started searching for red color. If it is not red, you can go for a blue. So some random color, what are the yellow things? Within 30-40 seconds, your thought will be completely distracted. Once you start distracting it, slowly your brain will think that these kinds of thoughts you are not entertaining. So it will stop on your own. You don't need practice after 20-25 days. This is the beauty of brain. For example, you have the habit of, sorry, I'm talking a lot, right? Okay. So whenever you are having the habit of taking tea at 4 o'clock, so you are doing some puja or you are into some kind of worship, then you say that 4 o'clock ka chai, no. Won't you stop it? After 20 days, do you feel like drinking chai? That times you tell yourself, telling that, I'm so lazy to make my 4 o'clock chai. But that is not the laziness. Your brain stopped thinking about the chai. That is the beauty of chai. So this is how you can crack the patterns and you can create your own neuron circuit. Neuron circuit is a circuit when you start behaving in the same way for a particular long period, that will become a circuit. For example, the people, the grandfathers and grandmothers, they'll wake up at 4:30. They don't need an alarm. So whatever may be the season, they wake up at 4:30 because they have a neuron circuit. Their alarm is in their own brain. Same way, any habit you can change it, but you have to be consistent when you are changing your habit. That's it. Hope I answered your question, Kalyani.
Kalyani, would you like to say something? You can go ahead.
Yeah, that is so, I mean, it's so enlightfully simple. I mean, people make such a big deal of stress and big deal of how to come out of it and all that. It's so it's like, I've just put it on the chat. I'll tell it to you here itself. It's like how a mother pacifies a child who's constantly trying by, showing them some toys, showing them something else, and showing something.
Exactly.
Like, it's as simple as that. And I mean,
exactly.
it's so, I mean, it's very it's very delightfully simple to do.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you so much, Kalyani. Thank you so much. Like, really, even when I was listening, I was like, okay, that's just, I need to do these small steps. And, one can just shift their thought patterns. And that is something which is required. Sagar also says in the chat that, wow, that will definitely break the pattern of continuous negative thoughts. And that is what we need to come out, like identify first and then just step back. And Dr. Anita has shared these simple ways on how we can break that pattern and come out of that. Also, Dr. Anita, if you would like to share a bit, in one of your sessions, I had heard about some of the, steps through which we can manage our day-to-day life in a better way so that it doesn't result in any kind of stress, like basically a preventive way. How we can address different aspects of our life by which we don't, enter into that web. So would you like to share?
Yeah, definitely. So whenever we are talking about stress, these days we are not being stressed out because we are not living in jungle like forest. So we don't have any kind of natural calamities and all. Until you have, because you are in Uttarakhand. But rest of us, we are safe. We have a heavy rain, that's it. Not more than that. So what is the main kind of source of stress these days is interpersonal relationships. We are in a kind of roller coaster of these emotions when it comes to the interpersonal relationships. So why these interpersonal relationships? It may be anyone. It may be your friend, it may be your colleague or your spouse, your children. So everyone has their own kinds of things. So let us take few things how to manage your interpersonal relationships, because most of our stress comes from interpersonal relationships. So let us see how we can manage with it. The first thing is, whenever we are talking to the other person, you have to follow certain rules. These are not rules, but I say it as rule because once you make it as a rule, so that your communication will improve. There is two major differences between an animal and a human being. The first is a smile, and the second is we have the good communication. Animals also communicate, but what is happening is they have only the minimum. They cannot say that aapka zulf kitne achhe hain, wo sab they cannot say. So we have lots of vocabulary to express our feelings. So first what we have to do is, when two people are having a conversation, never put a question mark. Question mark always makes the other person to defend themselves. So let me give you one example. Your spouse has come late from the office. Why are you late? General question. What happens? The other person already they are stressed out, whether he or she, and they doesn't want to answer your question because they must be hungry or they want to use the washroom, whatever may be the reason. So the first thing is, make this question into a statement. I think you are a bit late. See how comfortable it is to hear. So we are not using a question mark, but we are telling that I think you are a bit late. Then the other person will feel so comfortable. Okay, she understood that I am late, or he understood that I am late. So this is how you can make as statements. With children also, we can do the same thing. Why you didn't do the examination properly? Instead of that, we can put it in a simpler sense. I think that I understand that there was some problem with the examination. Can you explain me? See, the child starts analyzing what went wrong. So you are not putting them in a position to guard them. Guarding means I didn't do. I don't feel like writing. That's why I didn't write. So this is how you are not getting the proper explanation there, where you are trying to help them out, but at the same time, you are making them guarded. So avoid the question marks first. The second thing is, it's always I, that's not you. You came late. No, you're not supposed to use you. When you are pointing out towards others, the others will feel that you're trying to interrogate them. So never use that. So what we have to do, I'm very hungry. Or else, generally what females or males say that, you are very late, I am dying with hungry. So the immediate response from the other person is, go and die, I don't bother about you. Because they are also stressed out. So how can you put is, I am feeling hungry. Immediately the spouse thought process changes and they say that, please give me 5 minutes, let me change and come. See how comfortable it is. So you're giving them a kind of accommodating them in your hunger. So when you are pointing out towards others, that is becoming a discussion or an argument. Instead of that, you put yourself, I am hungry. I was waiting for you. Why are you late? Instead of that, I was waiting for you. I had 2 coffees while waiting. So you can have your coffee. So you're telling that he or she is late. At the same time, you're telling, I'm not going to have coffee with you. You have your coffee. Clear? So this is how we can change the relationships. And the third thing is, whenever we are in a group of people, for example, 2 parents and 3-4 children, or a bigger family, then it's always we. It's not you or me. When you are telling it as we, try to add all these things, all the people in your conversation, then they feel that emotional bonding. So we will have dinner together. We are going out. So whenever we are saying we, that emotional bonding will make them to empathize because you are adding them. This is the third thing. And the second thing is, why we are having lots of interpersonal relationship conflicts is because of jealousy. You know what is meant by jealousy? Jealousy is inability, according to psychology. For example, I always used to tell regarding the weight. Let me change my example today. I'll tell that my neighbor has bought one big car, XYZ car. So after looking at that car, my car seems to be very small to me. Definitely, as a female, I'll have jealousy. But these days, male is also having jealousy. There's no gender bias these days. So after looking at that, I can't bear that pain of having a bigger car in front of my eyes, that to opposite house. So what is happening? Now I start avoiding those people, where we are cutting down certain kinds of social relationships. Second thing is, continuously I am trying to search some faults in them so that I can gossip with the other neighbor. So in this way, what are we doing? We are spoiling the whole environment. And third thing is, you are building your negativity in your brain, which is no way helping us out. So this is the second thing. And the third thing is, whenever two people are talking about some XYZ car, you go there and you bring this topic. See how your brain is occupied with your opposite wala car. So in what way it is helping us out? So let me put the same example in the other way. If I think that my savings are good enough by next year so that I can buy my car, do you think I'll be jealous? No way. I won't become jealous about them because I know that I have the ability. Or if I think that we are only just two people, why should I need a XYZ car? My car is good for me. If I think like that, do you think I'll feel jealous? So jealousy is one kind of having self-satisfaction or having the resources where you can build it up or you can model them. The best thing is modeling. Wow, what a car, what a silver color. When I'm going to buy this car, I have to earn money. I have to see 2 extra cases so that I get this kind of money by next year and I can buy. So with this, what I am getting motivated toward my profession. I want to improve my skills in my profession. I want to improve my finances. I want to show the world that I can buy XYZ car. And no negativity here, you are completely positive. So whenever you are jealous about certain person, you try to make them as your role model, try to just observe them. What can I do to reach this place? That will make you very, very motivated towards your profession. It may be any profession. It may be a small to big profession. This is how you can achieve. And the third thing is encounter stress. Certain people, suddenly now you know what happened when we started the session. So we encounter certain things which we don't feel like. So what mechanism we use that? We avoided the stress. We completely blocked it. So let me give you one good problem solving technique here. So people who have paper and pen can write it down. The first, any problem you have that can be resolved with only 3 A's, alphabetical A. The first A is alter. If you have a problem, can you alter the situation or alter your timings or alter your mindset? Anything you can alter within your limits. When you are not having anything which you can alter, then what you can do is, the second thing is avoid. Sometimes you have to completely avoid people, completely avoid the situations if you think that they are negative. We also have lots of people in and around us. After talking to few friends, we have headache because of the negativity, the negative things what they are talking to us. So avoiding is the best thing. So most of the people, how can we avoid when they are talking in a call? So many people ask me. So Anchal, very beautifully, I used to tell them that someone is ringing the doorbell, I'll just come back. I put my milk on the stove, I'll just come back. I think my husband is calling, I'll come back. See, these are very small tips where you can avoid. After avoiding 4 or 5 times, definitely the other person is not going to call you. And one fine morning, you can call them and say that, oh my God, I'm these days very busy. So how are you? What is happening? You show all your love and affection towards them because we don't want anyone to get hurted. We want to maintain that relationship. Clear? So this is the second thing. When you encounter certain things, either you can alter the situation, you can avoid the situation. The last thing is, when you cannot avoid, when you cannot alter. So the best thing is, someone has started their presentation. Okay.
Anchal, you're on mute. Anchal, you're on mute.
Sorry. So someone has started the presentation. I think that's by mistake. So you can please remove that. And Dr. Nita, you can please continue talking. We can hear
Okay.
you.
So the third thing is, if you're not able to alter, if you're not able to avoid, then the first thing is you have to do is accept. Okay, that's okay, fine. I have a glasses. It's okay. I have it. I enjoy my glasses. I have a knee pain. Okay, I have a knee pain. I have to take care of it. That's it. Alter, avoid, and accept. Generally, people say that, how can I accept this person in my life? It may be anyone. It may be a team leader, or it may be your colleague or your security guard, anyone. So the first thing you have to understand is, we have accepted lots of people in our life. Maybe our parents. We don't like certain things in our parents, but we accepted them. We accepted our spouse. We accepted our teachers. Most of the times we have one hating teacher, but still we used to be very alert in that class because we used to hate them. So this is how we started accepting from so long. At one point of time, when your threshold reaches to a particular place, you don't feel like accepting, then you start a kind of getting into a stress. So let us not get into that stress. So let us continue to accept them as they are. Okay, they are nagging, it's okay, kind of things. So alter, avoid, or accept. By these three ways, you can have a good relationship with others. And when it comes to the interpersonal relationships, we generally get jealous because of expectations. These days, we have lots of expectations towards the human relationships. We expect a thank you, we expect a smile, we expect a hi. So why should we expect? People say that I have done a lot to them, they are not doing. You have done something to them because you are expecting something. That means you are also the same person. So if you are not expecting and doing, then you are Mother Teresa. Otherwise, I won't accept you. So if you want to do heartfully, do it. Never expect at least a smile or a thanks. In this 2020, you cannot expect all these human kind of behaviors from humans. So once it is there in your brain, you feel comfortable. If someone is not smiling at you, you smile at them, telling that I have expected this, that you won't smile at me. You will have, so I want you guys to be in a comfortable position than thinking about they didn't wish me, they didn't call me, kind of things. You feel like wishing them, you wish. If they are not wishing, don't expect. That's it. Expectation always kills. It may be a small thing to a bigger thing, but don't expect anything. If you want to help, help. If you don't feel like helping, don't do it. No one is forcing you to help someone, right? So you can avoid it. Clear? So hope I have covered few of the things in interpersonal relationships. Let us go to the next thing which we are mainly suffering from stress. The reasons for stress is time. We don't know how to manage our time. So there is a question. Anchal, can you read that question? How can we come out of our own expectations or something? I could not.
Yes, so Sagar has mentioned a question here. How can we deal with if we couldn't meet our own self-expectation? It creates a deep guilt inside. So it's not expecting from others, but expectation from the self.
Expectation from us. Thank you for asking this question. This is a very good question. So we know our capacity. Let me put you in one example. So we all went to Anchal's place one day. So she is serving rotis. So do you think that all of us will have 5 rotis? No. One will have 1.5, one will have 2 rotis, one will have 5, one feel like eating 10, or I like the sabji, so I like only sabji, I don't want roti. So that is our capacity of our tummy, or the capacity of eating of chapati, because we South Indians mainly eat live on rice. So we want rice. So my capacity has come down. So as you know your capacity of tummy, you know about your abilities as well, where you are good at, where you are bad at, which are your strengths, which are your weaknesses. When you know your strengths, try to keep them up. When you know your weaknesses, try to master it. Nothing is impossible when you strongly decide that I have to do it. Then definitely you will do it. That is only the brain. I'll give you one more example. Hope I'm not running short of time. No.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So let me give you one example. So all of us passed our 10th standard examinations. So let me give you one example regarding the exams, science exam. There are 10 chapters in the science exam. So we have finished 9 chapters. And as usual, 10 bole to all the parents will be running behind us, asking us, did you finish your syllabus? We'll very, what do you say, confidently say that, yes, mama, I finished. See, I'm going to get 95%. But still in your mind, you are thinking about the 10th chapter. But you are telling yourself that somehow I'm going to leave this 10th chapter questions in my choice. In every section, you have choice. They give 10 questions and they'll ask you to write 7 or 8. So my mind is prepared to do that. So I'm going to leave my 10th chapter in choice. So you went to the examination hall. You took the question paper. In one section, you have 2 questions from 10th chapter. So generally what we do, generally, most of the human beings, especially in Indian scenario, we add up all the 9 chapters and we'll write the 10th answer. That is the person who has to correct. They'll decide where is the 10th chapter answer. Let them decide. But we'll write it up because we mentally tried that we are going to manage with 10th chapter. This is the beauty of the brain. Let me give you same example in a vice versa. You entered into the examination hall. Suddenly, there is a person running into the examination hall, your friend, she came and she asked you, did you finish your 10th chapter? You very proudly told that, no, I didn't finish my 10th chapter. I'm going to leave in choice. Then if she or he says that, last year there are 10 questions from 10th chapter, finish. All your thought process is gone. Your mental stability is gone. And you took the question paper. The first question is regarding what is your name. You think that the answer is in 10th chapter. Because last minute your mind has been completely spoiled. See the difference between these two. This is how the brain works. So if you know about your weaknesses, just try to master it. Nothing is impossible. For example, I am very poor in chemistry. So let me try every day only half an hour. Only half an hour every day. So what is happening at the end of 6 days? 3 hours of chemistry I have studied. So at the end of 1 month, at the end of year, you are mastering your chemistry. So you don't need to worry about it. So whenever you find out your weakness, try to practice it only 30 minutes. Out of 24 hours, 30 minutes is nothing. And to get motivated for this, set an alarm in your mobile, telling that after 30 minutes, I'm not touching my chemistry book. Finish. After 30 minutes, you leave it. So slowly you are accommodating the weaknesses into your strengths. You are mastering them. This is how you can come out of your self destinations. You can think about it. Same example of roti. I like the sabji. I have the habit of eating 2 rotis. Excess 1 roti I can eat. More than that I cannot eat. Same way, if you have expectations towards yourself, you can increase it up to 10 to 20%, not more than that. For example, my salary is 1,000 rupees. So next year I can expect for 1,100 or 1,200, but I cannot expect for 10,000. See what is happening here? So my expectations are so high that I am not able to reach it. At one point of time, I'm getting demotivated to reach it. So your expectations, your goal should be within your reach. So always we say that 10 to 20%. So 1,200 I have expected, 2021 definitely I'll get 1,200. On that again 20%. This is how slowly we can achieve our goals. Hope I answered your question.
Sagar, did that help your question? You can write it on the chat also. And before we move to the other topic, Dr. Nita, we had few questions. So let us go ahead with those questions first. So Arun here asked a question that parents after 70 years are not listening to our words sometimes in house. They are talking their own way. At that time, they are getting more angry. And also we have a work pressure. And sometimes we might tend to say something to them which is not correct, right? Because of tension, because we are so stressed because of the other things happening around. So how to manage this kind of tension? Because we have already a lot of things in our head, and you would be able to understand this question. So how
So is it regarding the parents or the children?
parents?
Or okay, the adult is the parents are telling something to an adult person. That's what, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So, like for example, me and I have my own work to do, and I have my parents who are, 60, 70 years of age, and they have their own way of thinking, and I have my own, and then some kind of arguments. There are a lot of things that happen. So, how to deal with that kind of stress? And we
Okay.
don't want to hurt them also. That is
Yeah,
also.
yeah. So there are few things which we can follow. The first thing is ignoring. Try to ignore. They'll say 101 things. And sometimes what happens, after you cross 45, 50, you become very stubborn. Because we have our own life experiences and you are born in front of us and you are talking about your experience. So this is how the thought process changes. It's not the parents they are changing. The thought process itself changes. So they become very stubborn and they want to stick on to the rules. So instead of getting into an argument mode, just ignore it. The second friendly tip, what I can give is ask them to write everything. So every Saturday, 2 to 4 o'clock, we are discussing about all the issues. So you're creating a time for discussion. So every day you don't have that headache. And your parents will be waiting for Saturday, and Saturday you will be waiting to answer all the questions. That's it. After 2 to 4 o'clock, you are not talking about it till next Saturday. So
We are not able to hear you. Kalyani, can you hear Dr. Anita?
I think she has a internet flux. I think she'll be back.
Okay. So I think that has been an incredible, conversation since the last, I think, 20 minutes, because when I think most of our stress is usually interpersonal relationships related. And the pointers that she mentioned in terms of, be it, our patience with ourselves, or how do we react in certain situations, I think that makes complete sense, and also make us think that, okay, these are also, because she spoke such a lot of things which was so, I could relate to them, I could connect with them, that I think, okay, Dr. Anita might be rejoining, so that I could connect, that I was like completely, oh my God, this is such a new thing for me, and some reminders, of course, as well. And very practical. Not like you have to be very nice with everyone always. You have your own capacity and you need to react as per that. She mentioned about alter, avoid, and accept. That is something that really works in relationships. We have learned it, I think, through different angles. So anyone here, like until Dr. Anita joins back, would like to share something, or if you have any question, we can take it up with Dr. Anita when she's back. Anyone has anything to say, you can voice it out, opening up your mic, or you can also mention it on the chat. Otherwise, I can keep on continuing till she's back. Arun, would you like to share something that was your question that was being answered? If there is no compulsion, if you feel enough, you can share something by opening your mic. That would be fine. Did someone open the mic? Manik. Manik, you have something to say? Till then, I'll just quickly check with Dr. Anita, okay? Okay, since I think no one else has. Okay, Manik had a question here. When a child see parents and other family members, that puts impression on child, and you never know if child gets into stress for a continuously long period. How to identify such situation and deal with it? How to intervene there? Yeah, we can probably ask Dr. Anita about it, but because she's the expert there, but we all have had our experiences, I think. because in some of the situations, if I talk about my own experience, you can intervene. And also, when you say child, do you talk about an adolescent, or you're talking about us also being the child? Because we are adults, but still we are children of our parents.
Yeah, so it's about childhood because child would not be aware how to deal with that situation by at least for himself or herself, because we are at adolescent stage, still we can deal with it. I mean, it depends totally, but still we have that access. But child may not be having, though now we are having that kind of culture in schools, but not in all schools, that we have counselors available who actually talk to children to understand how they are dealing with, because sometimes children behavior gets changed and teacher used to notice that and they refer it to counselor in the school itself. But every children is not that much blessed with such facilities. So, and definitely that makes a lot of bad impressions on the mind patterns, which sometimes create a lot of psychological problem in the adulthood and later in the life also. Like there is, if I can continue, Anita,
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah, yeah.
Anita
Please,
hasn't joined yet.
please go
I
ahead,
can
because she
share the
hasn't joined
information.
yet. Yeah, please go ahead.
For an example, it's not directly related to that, but I can. One of the one of my mentor has problem of he cannot be in the closed environment where he know there is no exit in his own control. So he cannot travel in plane. He used to travel any distance. He used to travel via road only or train. Train is also not that comfortable to him. So if you say that if you keep him in a closed room and lock the room, he may get a panic attack. So that is due to his childhood event when he was playing with his sister and hidden his younger sister in one small, would say a store kind of say. So that time sister has screamed a lot and parents have given like shouted on that person, and that time both were of around 8 to 9 years age. Sister was around 4 to 5 years of age. So that impression has given him a psychological problem. Right.
Yes,
So I
yes,
guess
yes.
Dr. Anita is back.
Yes. So I'll mention the pointer that you have talked to Dr. Anita as well. Before that, let's finish the question that we were picking up that Arun had mentioned. And Dr. Anita was answering one was, of course, ignore. And we become stubborn as we age. Even you were talking about the 60, Dr. Anita. I think even we, what we were 10 years or 20 years back and what we are now, we actually become very rigid as we age. So I think that is applicable as we grow up in our life. Yeah, please go ahead. Like you were answering that question about the difference between parents and adults. Yeah. Dr. Anita, your screen got stuck again. Can you hear us? I think there is some internet issue at Dr. Anita's end. So we can wait, and thank you so much. Please, guys, have patience and wait, because she has a lot of great things to share and very nice tips to give us, because these are some of the very common stresses that we deal in our day-to-day lives. Be it a child, like Manik has mentioned, or be it adults, or be it our elders, and we all go through it. And it's not something, it is, it can go to various extents. It can be a normal kind of a stress where you think about something and it goes, and it can get deeper and create a lot more serious issues with respect to our health. So she has few more, she has a lot of knowledge. She has a lot of experience to share with us. And in today's session, we are just trying to put some of those aspects, and maybe we'll be doing another session in future where we'll be focusing on one particular aspect. So for example, Manik shared about child psychology. Yes, Devika, very true. This is how we learn, right? Like today, I think it's a special day that we are seeing some unexpected glitches, be it technical form of glitches or be it some social form of glitches that happened during the start of the meeting. And that is also one way to deal with it. That is also, that's how life is. Things come unexpectedly. So day-to-day stress that you can call about, and that's something which we need to deal with. So, and I appreciate all your patience that you are here and waiting, because Dr. Neeta will be talking about, except interpersonal relationships, she will be also talking about one or two other factors that if we apply in our day-to-day lives, that can help us to not get into that circle or web of stress or thoughts that she was talking about. So, Manik, your question, I got your question. Let's see if we are able to address it in the session itself once Dr. Anita is back. Or maybe we can separately take it with her in another session, because she's a parenting expert and she keeps on taking such sessions in different platforms. So I think we can address it then also, if we are not able to address it today, just in case. So Dr. Anita is back. Can you hear me? Please go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
We are answering Arun's question regarding the parents. So the first tip, as I've told, you can ignore them, or you can ask them to write it down till the end of the Saturday or Sunday. You can keep up a discussion time. With anyone, you can do this. For example, you have 10 complaints from your spouse. Ask them to write it down. And Saturday, we are sitting and we are discussing. Either we discuss, we argue, we fight. Finally, we'll ending up after 2 hours or 3 hours, then finish. Till next Saturday, you are free of mind. Second thing. And third thing is, instead of hurting them, try to analyze what is the main intention behind what they are talking about. Is that their long-term goal or a short-term goal? If it is a long-term goal, then definitely, see, no parent wants their children to be hurt or feel bad about them. Even though I'm 50 years, if I'm crying, my mother will be feeling same way as I was crying when I was an infant. This happens with every mother. So instead of making them hurt, why can't we understand what they are talking about? Whether they are talking because they are jealous about something, or because they want to correct your behavior, or they are expecting something bad is going to happen. Especially the parents and the men issue comes regarding the wives. So they say that your wife is not doing this, maybe this ritual is not correctly done, this curry is not being correctly done, this onion, she bought very big onion, we need only small onions. All these small things will be coming. So both the ways to balance, it's very difficult for men. I accept that. So instead of that, you can make one person to understand it's okay. Regarding the onions, you're not bothered. Regarding the puja, I'll try to explain her. So both the ways you are trying to make them, give them one choice. See, mama asked you to do about puja. She is not interfering in your onions. So you have to do your puja. You are not interfering in your onions. So both the ways we are able to balance it properly, so that you are becoming a role model for your son. You have a son, so you are a role model, right? He's watching you, how you are dealing with your parents, how you are dealing with your spouse. So he'll use the same things, all extremely the ulta way they'll do. So they'll become very submissive or very aggressive, because depending upon our behavior. So these are all the 2-3 things. If it is a long-term explanation, if it is a long-term goal which they are talking about, then try to explain them when you are going to start it. For example, they want you to save 100 rupees every month, which is not possible for you. This is only an example. So you can tell them that, see, because of these reasons I cannot do. Next month I'm going to get an increment. That time I'm going to start with 50 rupees. Slowly next year, 2021 August, I'm going to start with another 50. So 100 we are starting. So what are we doing there? We are giving a kind of solution for their anxiety. Their anxiety is to make you comfortable, make your life comfortable in future. Maybe that is regarding the finance, or your regarding health also, sometimes regarding your rituals or karma. So many things comes up in a family. So you can give them an assurance that, yes, I'm going to do it, so that their anxiety levels will come down. And as the same way we are being stressed out, even our parents are stressed out. Try to have a kind of empathy towards them, because we are reaching their age now. Not Arun Garu, but I am reaching. So I'm telling you. So try to have a kind of empathetic things and assure them, go sit with them every day, make it a point, like how you are brushing your teeth, go to them, make your parents sit both of your sides, have your hand on their lap or on their shoulders and talk to them for 5 minutes. That's it. As a son, you have done your best. Don't give them anything, because at one point of time, they don't have their friends, they don't have their relatives to come and talk to them. They have forgotten their environment where they have been born and brought up. They don't have things to look after. Like if we have job, we have children, we have finance problems, we have that, we have this, but old age, we don't have anything. They expect a kind of warm talk. Generally, I'm talking about geriatric population. They need a warm talk. So you're talking for 5 minutes and ask your children to talk for 5 minutes. Just go talk to them. That's it. Nothing more than that. Automatically, their expectations will calm down. They think that my son is very good. He is taking care of us, even though you're not feeding them. Because the communication makes a lots of difference in old age people. Hope I have answered Arun Garu.
Thank you so much. He's smiling there. So I'm sure he's got he is like the answer. And thank you so much, Dr. Anita. That is really, the point that empathy and communication matters so much in all the relationships. And if we are able to find that kind of balance, I think we can avoid all our conflicts and whatever issues because all of us, I think, face this. So it's not something limited to a person. It's a very general thing that is happening these days. And the audience, if it's okay with you and Dr. Anita, we might extend the session by 10 minutes or so because of the gap that happened in between. And before that, we have the question, Dr. Anita, that was related to child psychology. I understand that the scope of this session might not be that much. We can take it in detail. But the question was that when a child sees a lot of fights and bad situations happening in his or her family, and when we're talking about child, we're talking about adolescent, and that actually brings a bad impression on the child's behavior and psychology. So I understand it's a very huge topic and it can be addressed in a separate session altogether. But if you have just few words, if you have to say on that, if it's fine if we can take it in the next session also, because it's a huge thing. But if you can, then few words, that would be helpful.
So do I have to talk about how to avoid the child from these bad situations, or how to make them comfortable in a conflict family? What is that?
The question was that what to do to handle such kind of stress with the child, how to intervene in such situations and deal with it before the child. Like, how can we help that child?
Okay. The first thing is, in front of the children, no arguments, no discussions, not even the gestures. Because children are very, very intelligent. Because most of our brain is being occupied with so many things. But children have lots of neurons empty. So they observe a lot. They learn a lot. They think about lots of things in different ways. That is the beauty of the child's brain. Especially the adolescents, they are dealing with their own problems. First of all, they have their own problem with their hormones. The second problem regarding adolescents is they have this identity crisis sometimes. They cannot identify themselves and they have their peer pressure and the things which is happening from the family to the school, whether they are able to manage balance between these two things. And the third thing is the changing, the globalization, how the children are changing, the behaviors are changing. We are teaching something and the school is the children are the different way. So the adolescents are, first of all, they are being very much stressed out. So the main thing with a adolescent child is talking. Talking cannot be suddenly, you said 2 days back I have seen a case, the child is only 10 years, 6th means 10 to 11 years. When the mother started sitting with her and talking to her, she started going into the room and locking herself. Because from the past 11 years, she never experienced how to talk with the mother. So that was a new thing for her. She is thinking that if mother is coming near to her, I know she is going to give one advice now. I don't want to listen to the lecture. This is what the child's thought process is going on. So make it as a slow process. Try to sit with them for 10 minutes and don't ask any questions. No questioning, please. You start conversation. Telling that, you know what happened today, I went to the petrol pump, I saw this thing, this is what happened. So when you start conversation, once they feel comfortable when they are at your own pace, they'll come and they'll start sharing with you. And the second thing is, whenever a child shares something unusual, which is not happening in your house, or which you feel that it is bad, just don't react. You can say only one sentence, it's okay. This is what the world is. You're saying only one sentence, so that the child is understanding that the world is like that. So you are accepting whatever the child says. Once you accept it, you take your own time, maybe half a day or 1 day. After that, slowly try to advise the child in a indirect manner. For example, your child has come to you and he was talking about smoking in the school. Then you can say that, oh, it is happening in your school. Okay, the world is like that. Most of the population are smoking. But you're not saying anything. Generally, as parents, what we do, we immediately jump into the conclusion, why you are being friends with those people, why you see, where you saw, what is the school management is doing. So you're putting them in an anxiety. Next time when they want to say, they don't want to see you anxious, so they avoid. So you are keeping your calm. I know as a parent, you are anxious, you are worried about your child's safety, but at the same time, you want your child to be having a long-term effect of any bad behavior or any unusual things. So after half a day or 1 day, Arey beta, yesterday you was talking about something. Come, let us sit and discuss about it. Never ask why you are with those friends. You can just tell the consequences of it. You know what happened to that uncle's daughter's friend who died. You can give some kind of example, the scientific reasons behind it, so that they understand the consequences first. Once they understand, that is his child's brain. Once it understands, that will follow. Then slowly you can make them avoid the situations. Instead of you barging into the school, you can call them and ask them, this is what happening. I just heard from some XYZ, not your child. Then again, the child will be stigmatized in the school. Or try to avoid that kind of people. Ask very politely, go to the school and ask very politely to change the section. This is how we are protecting our child instead of getting into unwanted behaviors in front of the child. So try to be very calm when the child is talking. Talking to the child is very, very important. When the child is coming and having a kind of irritability and all, especially the male children, we say that don't cry. So please don't say that children don't cry. They want an emotional outburst. It's okay to cry. You want to cry, go into the bathroom, open all the pipes, you cry loudly. This is what I say my clients when they have some trauma. Let them cry, let them vent it out. Once that emotional pain goes away, they feel very comfortable. So if your child is crying, please sit with them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Once they calm down, then give them a glass of water. Don't ask anything. Just tell them that whenever you feel like sharing with me, you can share with me. Don't worry. Whatever it is, I am there for you. This is what the assurance the children expects, especially the adolescent children expects. Once they think that you are the best support in the world, then they just don't go into the peer pressure and get into unwanted behaviors. They just want to rely on you. Because we are not supporting, they are getting into this peer pressure and getting into this unwanted alcohol or nicotine or unwanted behaviors, any behavior. So this is how we can manage with it. And every week, what you have to do, at least 3-4 hours, you have to spend time with the children. It may be a game, or it may be you are going for a walk, or it may be you are discussing about a particular movie, but doing something passively is very bad. Chalo, all of us will sit. All of you sitting with one gadget, that doesn't make any sense. So all four of you putting your gadgets aside and sitting together and having some kind of conversation, so that you know what is your child thinking about, what is his thought process, where he is going wrong. This is how we can do it. And at least one meal all the family members should have. Meals is the best place where you can understand the other's feelings, how they are eating. They are eating very fast. What is happening, whether they are anxious, they are worried, they are feeling sad. Every feeling will come on the dining table. So try to have one meal together with the children, especially the adolescent children. Smaller children, you can feed them and you can have it. This is what my suggestions. Hope I have answered the person who asked this question.
Dr. Anita, based on however our conversation and discussion has went, we can actually see that how, there is such a broad spectrum of stress. Like, it has so many variations, so many types, so many different kinds of stress people have, that we might have thought to do the session in one particular flow. But as the questions came and as the audience is also responding, we also have to move a little bit, off and on, like from switching from topic to topic. And everything, each and every topic, each and every concept is so important. And like you have been sharing us all the, these concepts that are helpful in parenting, in interpersonal relationships. These are some small things that if we practice from, like, if we can start now, if we would have been practicing since a while, it would have really, helped us a lot. And I think people still have a lot of queries, Dr. Anita. So what I can probably suggest them to get in touch offline, or you anyways, Dr. Anita, can plan another session in near future. And also she has a lot of sessions on different platforms. So if possible, if it is open session, we can also attend it. And that will also be very helpful for us, because since we have to keep a track of the time also, we might not be able to delve, in each topic very deeply at the moment. And we have a lot of compliments here, Dr. Anita, from Arun, Sagar, Devika, Mane, that all these explanations, they can so much relate. And sometimes, like, it's very helpful that, okay, it is something like this that we can actually practice in our day-to-day lives. Being with our parents, having a meal together with children or with our family, not, fighting or doing anything wrong in front of our children. Turning jealousy into modeling. Like that was a great thing for me, that, okay, one thing thinking that way also, and that's very practical. Like, we might say that you shouldn't be jealous, it's someone else's life, not to be materialistic. But considering practical life that is today, then also we can just switch from jealousy to modeling, and then the whole thought process and way of taking things change. So, Dr. Anita, since we have less time, so I would now leave it to you on what core topics, because I know you were switching on to time management also a little bit. So what topics you would like to briefly touch upon in the next 5 minutes to, take us towards a closure for the session, because we have to take care of the time as well. And Dr. Anita also, we are obliged enough to have more time for the session. We might do it in the next session, because for the next topics, taking the questions offline and again discussing it like we did today also. We had some questions beforehand. So over to you, Dr. Anita.
Okay. So generally today we spoke about only the reasons of stress. We never spoke about the management. So in the last 5 minutes, I want to talk about the management. So we know now what is meant by stress, how to identify it, and what kinds of stress are there in our life. Even though we didn't touch lots of things, but it's okay. Whatever we have done a good job. So let us start with how to manage our stress. The first management is, as I've told you, in interpersonal relationships, there is no you, it's only I. There is no you and me, that is we, and there is no question mark, it's only a statement, and there is no jealousy, and communication is very, very important. And all the 3 A's, alter, avoid, and accept is very important in our life. Other than that, we have few simple things where you can manage your stress. The first thing is having a good smile. Smile will always improve your chemical release. Smile will improve your endorphins. Endorphin has a morphine effect. Morphine is a drug which will be taken to reduce the pain. So, for example, some surgeries happen. Whatever painkiller you take, that has a small amount of morphine. So, whenever you are smiling, you have a morphine effect in your brain. So, have a good smile on your face. Whenever you see your enemy, also try to have a good smile so that they feel comfortable, you feel comfortable, not because you like them, just because your endorphin should be there. First thing. Second thing is having a physical exercise is very, very important. So try to have physical exercise every day, at least 15-20 minutes, even though it is corona, you are not able to go out. Just do simple stretches like stretching your hand and bending right and left, bending front and back. All these small stretches will make you feel relaxed because your muscles will be relaxed. So this is the second tip. And third tip is talking to your friends. Talking to your friends will make you stress released. Whenever you are stressed out, just randomly call one of your childhood friend and talk to them. You feel very relaxed. This is the third tip. Fourth tip is having your hobbies lively. Never think that hobbies can be forgiven forever. If you reach 20 years, 25 years, after that, why should I dance? Why should I listen to the music? What sense it makes if I'm playing a piano? Don't do that. Try to have your own hobby, which will reduce your stress levels. And the fifth thing, try to do whatever is interesting for you, at least half an hour to 45 minutes. For example, few people are interested in watching cricket. At least in some video, you have to watch half an hour, 45 minutes every week. And a few females are interested in nail polish. Don't hesitate to do that. Let people say whatever they want to do, because your mental peace is important for you, not for others. So you tell them that every Sunday, half an hour, I am going to apply my nail polish. I am taking care of myself. So whatever you like to cook something special, you do it. So every week, half an hour to 45 minutes, we are spending for ourselves. And every night before you are sleeping, just think about the day, how it went. What all the plus points means for the positive things, what happened in your day, what are the negative things that happened in your day, and try to have self-analysis. Is the negative things happened because of your mistake or because of your assumption or because of whatever it is? We are not answering to anyone, but we are answering to our own self. When you are trying to analyze your own self, then you try to improve yourself. So you are trying to do a personality development day by day. So this is the best thing what you can do. And having a nutritious food is very, very good. And sleeping in the night. People think that I'll sleep at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, I'll wake up at 8 o'clock. No. Once the sun sets, that means some of the hormones are ready to release in your brain. So if you're sleeping by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, waking up before the sun rises gives you very good mental and physical health. These are all the few things. But you people may ask, if you are managing all these things, can you think that the stress won't be there? Yeah, stress will be there. Till you die, the stress will be there. Now I'm in a deathbed, then the nurse will come and say that you have to breathe from this ventilator. I cannot say that last minute I don't want to take stress. I have to learn it. So stress will be continuously there. But why these management techniques is very important. Let me give you this last example. Another 2 minutes I'll take, Kanchan. Sorry.
Please feel free, Dr. Anita. We are there to listen.
So why are we taking this stress management tips are, see, I take a bowl of ice cubes and I put it on the stove. How much time it will take to boil? Maybe it takes 20 minutes. If I take a kind of ice water, it may be 15 minutes. If I'm taking a kind of room temperature water, 10 minutes. If I'm taking warm water, 5 minutes. If I'm taking hot water, in no time it gets into a boiling point. If your brain is like ice cubes, you need lots of stress to get into this boiling point. So to keep yourself as ice cube, you have to manage all these things. See how cool we are. Some stupid person has come and showed us some video. We are so cool. We never got into anxiety because our mind is like ice cube. Immediately we were searching for what is this next remedy. How can we avoid this? This is what our brains is. If you're stressed is, then immediately you will go close the entire window. This is what the stressful people will do. So you have to keep your brain like ice cubes. We have seen this movie also, All Is Well. Why? You're telling your subconscious mind is saying that everything is fine. I can manage with it. This is what the concept. So if you are following these 5-6 tips regularly, after that you don't get into stress. You are in a financial loss, you will have a big smile on your face because you know how to manage with it. I have given you tips.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. Probably why more time is spent on how to identify stress and the examples is because we at times, don't recognize it. And then
Yeah.
you share it with the help of the story and how, simple concepts. So actually, the whole talk that happened initially, like throughout these hour, was also somewhere focused on solutions and focused on our day-to-day, how to live how to say that word, that how can we live in our day-to-day lives so that we can counter that stress and we don't enter into that stress. So
Yeah.
that's, I think, a beautiful way to close the session also, that we're talking about the concepts in our day-to-day life, respect to our thoughts and behaviors. That's what is one of the main, I think the most important thing, our mind and our thoughts and behavior. That's Dr. Anita's mission also, so that we can realize our full potential, and not get into that web.
Yeah.
And realizing that first, so that we practice it in our day-to-day lives. Like she said, habit and consistency. It's not
Yeah.
something that happens in a day or just like this.
Yeah.
And then few very simple tips. Like initially also we talked about the tips by just you can notice something, you can just change your thought pattern by noticing something in the room, thinking about some 5 different things. That is also a beautiful way to stop our mind to think in all different directions. And then these are 8-9 beautiful pointers. Kalyani has also listed it down in the chat, through which we can, these are also something that we need to practice on a day-to-day. And with time, with patience, with consistency, it will definitely impact our lives. Most of the times we get stressed. Why? Because we practice something, for example, exercise, we do it for a week, and then we try to look in the mirror, okay, have I lost some weight? That used to happen during childhood as well. So that is the point that Dr. Anita has also focused. Be consistent.
Yeah. So I want to end up. So I'll write my website name in the chat so that
Yes, yes.
people want to ask their questions. You can ask the questions in this website. This website never asks your name or anything, any details. So you can write to me. I just want to know the gender because depending upon that, I can address them. So I want to know only the gender and the age. That's it. Okay. I'll write it down.
Yeah, okay, I was writing it down. Please write it down just in case if I make a typo error. Bloomingbrains.com, that's the name of her website and also her book.
Yeah, this is my website name. And
thank you so much. Dr. Anita, we are getting a lot of thanks in the chat. If you can see it, if not, then the chat has gone up. So I'm just telling you that was
and there are a few tips for parenting in YouTube also. Most of the tips are in Telugu, but I've just started with my parenting YouTube channels. We have started it from the infant, from 0 to 6. Now the channel is going on 0 to 6. So you can just watch them also if you want anything. I'm reading the chat, so you can continue on.
Yes, so I was about to say this, that you can get in touch with Dr. Anita at her website. Also, you can see her amazing videos on her YouTube channel. And like she said, yeah, there are some of the videos in Telugu, but some of them are in English. I have seen them and they're really, really very helpful. So please follow her. And in near future, if Dr. Anita has the time and availability, we'll try to plan another session for sure. And thank you so much, Dr. Anita. A lot of gratitude to you and also to the participants for being here. You know, just listening to this important topic that is so much related, all these concepts, and having that patience to stay throughout. There were some glitches unexpected that happened today, but that's how life is, and we pass through it and we learn how to move through it. And I think Dr. Anita's presence and smile was one big factor to move through the session. Like I was telling initially when we had joined, I think other people had not joined, but her positivity, her presence, and her smile actually adds on to that, vibe.
Thank you.
And she can connect to all ages. Just yesterday, she was telling me, yeah, we are getting old. And I was like, come on, you can't say that. That you ask one person who actually inspire us, and you are younger than us, actually. So thank you so much, Dr. Rita. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in other chit chat sessions the next week onwards. And please take care of yourself and stay safe.
Thank you, Anchal. Thank you, all the participants.